I just want to say thanks to all of you for being such an important part of this shredding community. Your support fuels these conversations and inspires every video. So in this special Q&A video, we're diving deep into some questions that you guys ask me. I've got my wife reading the questions for me, so let's get started, and here comes the first question.
So first question, why did you move from Czechia to England?
Good question. Well, I was 19 years old and I just thought it's time to explore something that's a bit more unknown, and because that's what I suppose you're meant to do when you're 20. So we moved to England with my brother, and then I've stayed here since then.
Next question, what's your favourite band?
Well, that's a good question. It all started with Metallica, because that's kind of what got me into the world of electric guitars. I've literally spent the first year just covering any of their songs, learning the nitty-gritty of electric playing, such as down picking, alternate picking, gallops, soloing, pentatonic scales. And then it very quickly transitioned into heavier stuff such as Trivium, Devil Driver, Fear Factory, Stone Sour, but mainly Slipknot, where I've discovered the drop B tuning, and that's where the riffs got a bit more challenging as well. And then when I was 18, 20, it was more the modern metal stuff, such as Periphery, Animals as Leaders, Architects, Stray from the Path, and that's kind of what's been on the repeat since then. Maybe also new stuff like Knocked Loose or Spirit Box are incredible bands as well, but overall, just those are my go-to. At the same time, it's not just always metal. Very often I would be listening to different stuff that are different genres, just to break it up a bit and enjoy the variety of music that is out there. So yeah, those are my favorite bands. Next question.
Hi, I'm Brazilian and want to learn to improvise in pentatonic with your licks. Could you help me?
Sure, that's an incredible question. I'd say there are different layers in order to become good at improvisation. What helps a lot is, instead of taking all of the licks that you have, instead just take two that you absolutely love and ingrain them into your brain with repetition. So that way, anytime when you grab the guitar, it'll be your go-to. And that's how you will slowly start transitioning from the old way of playing to the new one.
So next question, is sweep picking as hard as it looks to an intermediate level player?
No. And let me tell you why. After working with hundreds and hundreds of players, I've seen this over and over. So I'm not building this just on my feeling, emotions and all that. It's actually on the data, which are telling me, after I've taught many students how to sweeping within 2 weeks, the response was always the same. I thought I would never be able to pull it off. So that makes me think that it's not that hard as people think.
Do you think it's okay to switch between different kinds of picks, or is it better to stick to only one?
Amazing question. I love it too. It's good to experiment, for sure. But at the same time, once you find one that makes a significant difference, then I would stick to it. I have created a YouTube video about guitar picks where I'm comparing different size, different thickness, different materials. And then at the end of it, I basically took 6 absolutely different picks and played one crazy shreddy fast lick with all those different picks, and was able to achieve it with all of them. Even though it sounded a bit different, because I've, for example, used a coin as well. But all in all, you should be able to achieve your skills with any pick you have in your hands. You don't want this to be the limiting factor that slows you down. Overall recommendation would be small to medium size, thickness 1.5 mils, and with pointier end.
Next question, so should I pick harder or lighter when I do alternate picking?
First off, start light. So that way it's not slowing you down. Once you start achieving the speed that you want, you can always then increase in the power and the strength you hit the strings. It's the same thing I recommend with down picking as well. First, start lightly and gain the speed. Because if you're gonna be hitting the strings really hard, you're gonna make yourself tired way too quickly, which will only then result in your hand cramping up and you not being able to continue. So first, start lightly. Once you become more confident at it and better at it, then you can start increasing the power and the strength you hit the strings.
Okay, next question. How many hours a day do you practice, and what riff or song do you play to warm up?
So I'm trying to get all of my practice done within an hour. First thing I start with is I have a collection of licks that I've gathered over the years that just speaks loud to me, and they're just my favorite, and I want to make my playing sound more like these players that I look up to. So I have a big collection of licks, maybe there's like 60 to 70 licks. It takes 10 minutes to play them through as like a one massive solo. And what I do in the morning to warm up is I hit a backing track, either whether that's C minor, D minor, A minor, and then I take those licks and start playing over those backing tracks. So that way, that's kind of my way of warming up. Also, one very efficient way to warm up is learning new licks, solos, riffs, theory, because you'll naturally do that in a slow tempo. So instead of trying to playing through some boring chromatic exercise that no one enjoys and it doesn't do anything, instead you can be warming up with materials that you're trying to get better at. So you're using that time, the first 10-15 minutes, to warm up and learn something at the same time.
Good riffs for beginner, intermediate, and pro.
Well, that really depends, because the stuff I'm gonna recommend you doesn't necessarily, resonate with you. The riffs you learn need to be some that you genuinely love. So I would class basic riffs, maybe something like Enter Sandman. One of the first ones that I learned was For Whom the Bell Tolls from Metallica, Seek and Destroy. So that would be kind of like the easy one. Then moving to medium, I'd say anything from Slipknot, that's kind of the medium. And then if you want to go to more difficult, then any modern metal will do. Archspire, Animals as Leaders, Periphery. It really depends what type of music and bands you look up to. So when looking for songs and riffs, make sure you're genuinely looking forward to playing them, because that motivation will carry you through and help you to show up when you don't feel like it.
If not Kiesel, what would you play then?
Oh, great question. I think guitars I'd like to give a try is Aristides, and then a Bartek concept as well. Purely from the perspective that same thing that drew me to Kiesel was approaching the guitars a bit more custom way and a bit more differently. So those will be two brands.
What would be your dream rig?
I think in terms of the amp, PV 6505 or 5150, or now actually even better, diesel, I think it's EH4 or VH4. That would be for the head, and then cabinets, matching cabinets, and then shit ton of Kiesel guitars.
How to study chords for fast and musical approaches?
The most efficient way that I found is harmonizing the major scale. So within a major scale, we have 7 notes within the octave: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Everyone knows that. With every single letter comes a mode. So in C major, C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, E Aeolian, and then B Locrian. Every single mode is either major or minor. That gives you straight away the idea for the chord. So when you put these chords next to each other in a line, that gives you the regular triad chords, such as root note, third, and the fifth. Once you nail that, and you can start mixing and matching to see what sounds good, then you can advance into something a bit more complex, such as extended chords, 13th chords, 11th chords, 9th chords, 7th chords.
What is your advice for breaking through plateaus and lack of motivation?
So it's something I've kind of experienced myself lately when I didn't have the biggest drive to pick up the guitar. So these type of things or waves happens within any artist, and it's absolutely natural. You don't want to fight it, you want to embrace it. Embrace it by accepting that it's happening, And secondly, allowing yourself to give some time to yourself and then moving to a bare minimum. So for me, if I'm normally practicing for an hour, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna dedicate 20 minutes. So that way I'm just showing up regardless, and it's kind of more manageable. Within those 20 minutes, I will just cover topics that are very essential to my playing, such as speed, theory, improvisation, and then that's it. Nothing else, no more songs, writing. If I don't feel like it, I'm not gonna push it. And breaking through the plateau is fairly straightforward. First, get very clear on how would your playing need to look in an ideal world for you to be excited about it, happy, and proud of yourself. Once you have that, then start working with a teacher who already helped many players get to that level, to that position where they're able to play like those players they look up to. If money is not an option, then you just need to navigate through the ocean of videos and content that is out there in the online world. And that's how is guaranteed to break through the plateau.
Why can't I buy guitar skills like I can buy guitar gear?
Well, because anything worth having in life takes time. Can't be built overnight, but at the same time, it can be sped up. So while you can't buy the skills like that, you can definitely shorten the learning curve by working with someone who's already done it for hundreds and hundreds of players. So that way you're just not spinning your wheel and actually walking a path that's guaranteed to get you to that level. And that's exactly why we started boarding guitar course 5 years ago. Next question.
Okay, this is a big question. What is the meaning of life?
Yeah, that's a big question. And at the same time, very simple. Because you need to have a good time. Whether that's drinking a tea in a garden, creating videos for few people who actually enjoy it, or playing a guitar that makes you happy, spending good time with your loved ones. I would first start with making sure the time you've been given on this planet Earth is actually spent and fulfilled with activities that genuinely makes you happy. And the good thing is you don't need to explain that to anyone. If you're having a good time, then that's important. Obviously don't take it to the extreme, yeah, but that's where to start. Then looking after yourself to extend that lifespan so you can be doing more of these things that makes you happy. That's what I believe is the meaning of life. Leaving this human experience and being able to learn and leave it by being a bit better than you've answered in the first place. Well, that's all the questions we've got for this episode. We'll definitely do it again in a few months' time. So thank you so much once again for being here, supporting this channel by watching these videos. And if you decide to support this channel also by subscribing to it, then that would obviously make my day and I would really appreciate your support. So thanks for being here and I'll see you in the next video.